Hey, what's going on, guys? Destructinator here, and today what I have for you guys is another Black Ops 3 video. This time, though, it's not going to be about the gameplay at all. There's just going to be some nuclears in the background or something like that. Today, I'm going to be talking about something I've been seeing on YouTube in the past week or so that has really upset me, and it's about the new Call of Duty. So if you guys have not been living under a rock for the past week, you might have seen Ali A, T Martin, a bunch of these guys uploading videos saying, Ghost 2 confirmed, Call of Duty Ghost 2 is the next Call of Duty. In November 2016, we will all be looking at Ghost 2 disc and Ghost 2 on PS4 and Xbox One. So basically what they're saying is that Ghost 2 is confirmed to be the next Call of Duty for 2016 by Infinity Ward. And I'm here to tell you today that they are all completely wrong. First of all, let's just look at some of the evidence, because I was skeptical, I was like, oh wow, maybe Ghost 2 is confirmed. So I went and watched a couple of these videos, but what they explain and what they have as evidence is just so dumb. Basically, some UK gaming magazine had like a tiny little paragraph where they talked about Call of Duty Ghosts and what Robert Bowling said about how Ghosts wanted to be new and things like that, and the title of it was Call of Duty Ghost 2. And that was it. That was it, just one paragraph in a UK gaming magazine that had Ghost 2. Someone could have hit that shit by accident. Maybe a cat walked on the keyboard and nobody noticed it. Not to mention that the actual little paragraph itself said nothing about Ghost 2. It was talking all about Call of Duty Ghosts. It even said something about how we'll have to wait and see what Infinity Ward brings to the table in 2016. They have no idea what's going on, and yet all of a sudden the whole internet blows up because one person typed a 2 by accident. So they're deciding to just make all these videos, and it's not just the people I mentioned before. It's a lot of people are making all these videos about how Ghost 2 is confirmed just based off one little tiny thing and probably not even seeing the article. They probably just saw these bigger YouTubers do it and did it themselves. So let me explain to you my evidence about why Ghost 2 will definitely not be the next Infinity Ward game. There is no chance that Ghost 2 is going to be the next game. First, let me throw up some numbers. So I'm looking at the total units sold for the Call of Duties, the past Call of Duties. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which came out in 2011, can you believe it? That was a really long time ago. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 had 24.4 million units sold in total. And I know you guys are thinking, wow, 24.4 million, that's kind of a lot. The Call of Duty continues to break these sales records over and over, so 24.4 is pretty good. They're going up, they're on the rise. How many copies did Ghost sell, you ask? 16.5 million. 16.5 million. That is literally 2/3 of how much Black Ops 2 sold. It is 60% as much as Black Ops 2. And the best part is that's not even how many copies they actually sold. The units sold number that Activision keeps track of usually only refers to the actual games they sell to the distributors. So it's how many games they sold to GameStop or Toys R Us or whatever it is. The sell-through numbers, or the numbers of copies that actually get to a consumer in the hand of a player like you and me, I'm pretty sure they don't release those numbers. I couldn't really find them. Those are mostly internal things I believe they keep, so they don't show you how much actually gets to the consumer. So not only does that mean that Ghost sold 60% as much as Black Ops 2 did to the GameStops of the world, it means it could have been even less to the actual people who were playing it. Even at Activision, they know that Ghost was not a good game. Regardless of whether you like Ghost or your friends like Ghost or you thought it was fun or people who thought it was fun, Ghost was overall not a well-received game. That's reflected in the sales number. Not as many people bought the game because it wasn't as good as the other Call of Duties. Like I said, even at Activision, when I was there over the summer, I talked to a bunch of people about whether they liked Call of Duty, things like that. Ghost was unanimously the worst one. So again, regardless of whether you liked it or you thought it was fun or you did well on the game because you were really good at it, that does not mean that the game was overall good, that it was well received by the public in general, especially not the YouTube community. We are a very small niche of the total game player population. So what anyone says on YouTube or what anyone YouTuber says about how the game was great and how it was a lot of fun means nothing when compared to the actual pool of players. So the fact that it was so badly received means they will not continue the franchise. If they made a Ghost 2, everyone would be thinking about how, oh, well, Ghost wasn't that much fun, I bought it. They were selling Ghost for $1 at Toys R Us. That's how bad the game is, in terms of sales at least. Again, I'm not trying to hate on you if you liked the game. I thought it was kind of fun too, but I'm just saying in terms of public appeal, in terms of how well it did sell-wise. So if they made a Ghost 2, it would have all the connotations of the first Ghost around it, which means it would not sell as well because people would just think it wasn't as good. They are not going to make that kind of marketing mistake. The Infinity Ward wants to distance themselves from the Ghost franchise. Everyone loves Modern Warfare. Everyone loves Black Ops franchise, but Ghost was just not as good as them. It didn't sell as well. Not many people liked it as much. So I will bet you money right now that the next Call of Duty from Infinity Ward will not be Ghost 2. It will be something else. They will probably start a whole new franchise. It won't be Modern Warfare 4 either. That series is well and done with. They're going to do something new. And the second big thing that everyone has been claiming about Ghosts 2 or the next Call of Duty is that there are going to be no exos. And I'm going to tell you that that is also wrong. So let me paint a picture for you guys. Infinity Ward has been developing this Call of Duty for the last 3 years, because now that they have the 3 developer cycle with Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and Infinity Ward, they get more time to develop the games. The first new game of this development cycle was Advanced Warfare, which was the game that introduced exosuits right after Ghosts. So Advanced Warfare was the first one in this new sort of 3 company cycle, and they were the first ones to introduce exos. What that means is that the year Advanced Warfare was coming out, after Ghosts came out, Infinity Ward was working on a game that would be sort of like Advanced Warfare, because that was the norm at the time, was to make something with exosuits and exo movement and things like that, because that's the direction Sledgehammer was taking Call of Duty. So in the first year of production, in some of the basic game mechanics, in some of the base game ideas, they've had this whole exo movement in their big picture. They want this to be a part of the game because that's the new cool thing to do. On a personal note, I think the exo movement is pretty great. You know, people are like, yeah, we want boots on the ground, and I can appreciate that, but at the same time, you know, Call of Duty has been the same thing over and over and over. They need to make it new with keeping it the same, which is a very hard thing to do, and I think exo was a great way to do it. Granted, in Advanced Warfare, the exo movement was a little bit excessive and you could jump super high. Black Ops 3, you can sort of do the same thing, but it's very fluid, it keeps the game fast-paced, and I think it's a great thing. That being said, the sort of public opinion, again, about exo suits, I'm not too sure of exo movements, whether people like it. It's pretty 50-50 if you ask me, but the important thing is that Infinity Ward didn't know this when they were first started developing the game, because Advanced Warfare was just out, exo movement was this whole new thing. Everyone thought exo movement in Advanced Warfare was pretty cool for the first bit because it was new and different and things like that. So Infinity Ward has been developing this new Call of Duty with the exo movement in mind. Even if a lot of people don't like the exo movement, that has now become the norm for Call of Duty, because now Sledgehammer's done it, now Black Ops 3 and with Treyarch has done it. If Infinity Ward were to remove the exo movement system from the game, regardless of whether people really like it or really hate it, it will be seen as a movement back in time to a previous Call of Duty, which will be seen in a bad light, because they'll think, oh, well, Infinity Ward got lazy, you know, they didn't want to develop, they didn't want to innovate, they wanted to keep it the same, you know, crank the machine again one more time for another money-making scheme. And I'll bet you again that Infinity Ward does not want to be seen in that light. Now, could Sledgehammer's next game have no exosuits? Probably, absolutely. I think it's very possible for that. However, given this 3-year development cycle, Infinity Ward is not going to be one to break it in this first little section of 3 companies. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this whole Ghost 2 thing. You know, I just thought it was a little bit annoying because a lot of people were making videos about it when they just didn't really know what was going on. They're sort of making a lot of assumptions. And guys, it is March 2nd. Who cares about what the next Call of Duty is going to be? It's not going to come out for 8 months. We are farther away from the new Call of Duty than we are from Black Ops 3. So let's just sit down, play some games, and enjoy ourselves with what we have right now, and not be so worried about the future or what's going to happen 8 months from now. You can make all the clickbait title videos you want because people want to know right now the new news about the new leaked, exposed Call of Duty images and pictures, video, gameplay, trailer, but I don't. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like. Again, I don't really do these kind of things. If you'd like me to do them more, leave a comment down below. Also leave a comment letting me know what you think of the whole Ghost 2 thing and everything I said in this video. I'd love to interact with you guys on that. Leave a comment if you got this far into the video saying Ghost 2, more like Ghosts Poo, ha! So I know who the real players are because you guys watched all the way through. I really do appreciate that. And again, let me know what you think of people making these videos as well as what you thought of this whole video. My name is Destructinator, and I'll see you guys later.